Right now, reach for your phone, unlock it, look at the screen. What did you feel? Nothing, right? Just habit, an automatic reflex, as unconscious as breathing. That's exactly your problem. Because your brain has developed zero resistance to that glass surface you touch an average of 2,617 times a day. Zero. And that's not an accident. It's the result of years of work by some of the smartest engineers and most expensive psychologists in the world, all working to get you to exactly this point. But today, I'm going to tell you something very different. Because trying to quit your phone through willpower is a battle you've already lost. The real solution isn't willpower. The real solution lies in teaching your brain to feel disgust toward that screen. And in the next few minutes, you're going to see exactly how that's done, step by step. First, the bad news. Saying, "I'll use my phone less," has never worked, and it never will. Why? Because phone apps are engineered on the exact same principle as slot machines. It's called variable ratio reinforcement. You never know when the reward is coming. Sometimes a notification matters, sometimes it's junk. Sometimes a video is amazing, sometimes it's boring. That uncertainty keeps your brain's dopamine system permanently on high alert. And here's the big misunderstanding. Dopamine isn't the pleasure hormone. Dopamine is the seeking hormone. What makes you happy isn't looking at the screen, it's wondering what comes next. Which means fighting this loop with willpower is like trying to put out a fire by blowing on it. Every just 1 minute sits you right back down at that slot machine. This is exactly why the most successful apps aren't the ones that make you feel good. They're the ones that make you feel almost satisfied. A feed that never quite gives you the perfect video, a scroll that never quite runs out, a notification badge that never quite tells you what's waiting. That gap between almost and actually is where you live now, and it's engineered on purpose. Because a brain that's fully satisfied stops scrolling, and a brain that stops scrolling doesn't generate revenue. So what's the solution? It's not breaking the loop with willpower, it's changing the emotional label your brain attaches to that loop. In the 1960s, an experiment was conducted. Researchers gave alcoholics a specific medication. When combined with alcohol, this medication triggered nausea. After a few repetitions, some patients started feeling nauseous just from smelling a glass of whiskey. Their brain had built such a strong alcohol equals nausea connection that willpower was no longer necessary. Disgust had become automatic. In psychology, this is called a conditioned aversion response. And the key point is this response isn't built through logic, it's built through repeated association. This same mechanism shows up far outside the lab too. Think about food poisoning. If you get violently sick after eating shrimp, you can go years, sometimes a lifetime, unable to even look at shrimp without your stomach turning, even though you know, logically, that this particular plate of shrimp had nothing to do with it. Your conscious brain understands the truth. Your conditioned brain doesn't care. It has already made its decision, and it's not asking for your permission. Now apply that to your screen. Right now, you've attached feelings of relaxation, fun, and connection to your phone. But what if you could reverse that association? What if you could make your brain actually feel what that screen really is? Something that steals your time, fragments your attention, and disconnects you from real life? Here's a 3-step method, and you can apply it starting today. Step 1. The loss frame. The human brain is wired to react far more strongly to loss than to gain. This is called loss aversion. The happiness from gaining $1 isn't even half as strong as the pain from losing one. So how do you use this? Simple. Make your phone usage visible as a loss, not a neutral activity. Open your screen time report. Divide last week's total hours by your weekly wage to calculate your hourly rate. Then multiply. See how much money you spent. Write that number down and tape it to the back of your phone. Every time you unlock it, you'll see that figure, and your brain will start coding the screen not as entertainment, but as money I lost. Another technique, switch your phone to grayscale mode. Color is the single most powerful dopamine trigger. App icons, notifications, all of it is designed using color psychology. Strip out the color, and your brain suddenly starts finding that screen boring. It's a tiny setting, but the effect is surprisingly large. Step 2 goes deeper, the bodily awareness technique. Do this. Every time you pick up your phone, pause for 3 seconds and check your body. Are your shoulders tense? Is your neck bent forward? Are your eyes tired? Is your breathing shallow? The science here is clear. The average user blinks 15 to 20 times less per hour while on their phone than normal, far below the healthy rate. This leads to dry eyes, headaches, and even long-term vision problems. There's also tech neck, the forward head posture, which places up to 5 times the normal load on your spine. Every time you notice this, say out loud, "This is hurting me." That simple sentence, repeated over time, builds a new association in your brain. Screen equals physical discomfort. And this association is far more powerful than willpower because it sinks into your subconscious. Step 3, and the most critical one, creating an alternative dopamine source. Because simply banning something never works. When the brain finds a gap, it will always fill it with something. This is where the open loop principle comes in. What hooks you on your phone is unfinished curiosity, the next video, the next notification. You can use that exact same principle in your favor. An unfinished book, an unfinished project, a skill you just started learning. These also create open loops. And the brain wants to close open loops. Try this. The moment you put your phone down, immediately move to a physical activity. Leave a book open. Keep your guitar within reach. Leave a sketchbook open on the table. When your brain goes looking for stimulation, give it a ready alternative. Over time, when you're bored, your hand will reach for that alternative instead of your phone. There's a reason this particular substitution works so well. It doesn't ask you to sit with boredom and white-knuckle it. It redirects the same restless energy your phone was feeding on, just towards something that leaves you better off instead of worse. You're not suppressing the urge to seek, you're just changing what you're seeking. That's a completely different fight, and it's one you can actually win. And this is where the real transformation begins. After 2 or 3 weeks, just seeing a friend holding their phone will start to trigger a faint sense of discomfort in you. Because your brain will have now linked that object with loss, discomfort, wasted time. That's what disgust really is, and that's exactly where real freedom begins. So to sum up, don't fight this with willpower. Teach your brain a new language, create a visible cost, build bodily awareness, and set up an alternative open loop. 3 weeks from now, you'll have something you didn't have before. You won't look at your phone the same way again. But here's the strange part. While watching this video, your phone is probably right next to you, and maybe a notification just came in and your eyes darted over. That exact reflex I've been describing, it's happening right now. So when will you take that first step? Write it in the comments. How many hours was your screen time today? Sometimes saying a number out loud is the exact spark that starts the first bit of disgust.